This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons. Special thanks to our Supreme and Master Speakers, Omeji Cat Comet, Erisu Yamakawa, Alex Franco AV, Winebow Brood, Psyche, Asuta Starbreeze, Cletus Oreo, Nina Grimstarter, Lily Black, Bob Cece, Mictor Robintau, Edwin, Anathos Moonscar, Pamela Isley, Elenriel Maximus, Codrith Novelist, Mira Miri, Celestau Nautrell, Lazy Boy, A Wild Sarah, Luke Osborne, Pandalu Stormarrow, Tex, Kylin, Arthur Law, Beridan Derard, Cypup, Spencer Christmas, Noy Fafnir, Celine DeLune, Webster Wolf, Severa, Sir Cabarakil, AJ Brainswordson, Kazran, Ventos Tia, Edward Allond, Nat Clay, Gregorium, Cafe, Ryark Forbear, and Pizza Pockets. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/SpeakersXIV. Thank you.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 354. I am Lukiel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Georgi Wiston, Mail of Anadar, and Rollo Des.
Hola.
Hello. We are 1 episode away. No, 11 episodes away from having done a year's worth of episodes.
Wow, you could watch one episode a day for a whole year.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Well,
except for the missing ones.
Not all of them are online.
You have to imagine those
-3. Or minus, I would assume 6.
The lost episodes.
Just pulling that out of my ass. I'm guessing there's like at least 6 episodes that are not online because they were either too old, like 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if
4?
episode 3.
No, I feel like 3 is on, but 4 is not.
Oh,
I
is
feel
that
like it's something weird like that.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do
And
you
then
think if you could pull all the dialogue or other shit we said from every podcast and like make a believable AI of yourself?
No.
If you just crammed it, do you think it'd sound like you?
yeah, probably. I mean, I do have that AI bot thing already that makes my voice. I mean, that sounds pretty good. And
Yeah, that's horrible.
if we can feed every episode of Speakers of Eidolon somehow into an AI, and then just tell it, make an episode of Speakers of Eidolon.
What?
Well,
I would
no,
love to
we
see
can
that.
write a script. If we all had the AI voice, we could write a script and just make it
No,
talk.
I want a fully AI
not the
generated
same.
speakers
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
want to
know
know
about
what they
that.
would say.
That sounds terrifying.
That-
It would be so shit.
Yeah,
It'd be
it
funny
would-
for like maybe 5 minutes.
But it has like 340 something episodes of Speakers to go through. So, I mean, I think it'd be pretty accurate, at least in some points. All right. Anyways, it is June 10th. The heat is rising in Europe, at least. I think it is all over the western or northern hemisphere right now. June 10th. That's all I had
New
on
York
June
City
10th.
still in smog, still
Yeah.
breathing that Canadian smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Delicious.
There hasn't really been any forest fires here yet, but there's.
But you
know.
can change that, Lukiel.
Yeah.
Only you can change
Only
that.
you can change that. Only you can make forest fires.
Mhm.
Okay. Anyways, today we are finishing our spoiler cast. It isn't much of a spoiler cast, really. It's spoiler cast mostly in name, not so much in content, because the only spoilery thing we're going to talk about is Tataru's great Endeavour, or Grand Endeavour.
Grand, I think,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
might be great.
And it's very short. So today we are actually going to catch up on our MogMail backlog. So
Hey.
yay, we're going to read some MogMail that was sent at least a month ago. So
okay.
yes. Stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned for the post show. If you're watching live, we'll be answering questions from the Syndicate. As always, speakersxv.com/mods2023 for mods, mod applications, and send us MogMail at speakersxv.com/MogMail. All right, that's all. Let's jump into recent events. We're gonna start off with something that's kind of 16. I mean, it is related to 16, but 14 as well. 16 is releasing in a couple of weeks, which is crazy to think
11
about.
to 12 days.
Yeah.
Soon.
Um,
Or like a year for me. 'Cause
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
waiting for the PC, you know me.
So this is from we have an interview that reveals that Final Fantasy 16 inspired a fight in Final Fantasy 14. So
This is from inverse.com.
this is from inverse.com, yes. Which is interesting. 16 inspired 14, and it's not even out yet. So I'll read the article from Inverse. Final Fantasy 16 will be the biggest entry the franchise has ever seen, quite literally. The crown jewel of the next title in Square Enix's long-running series is Icon Battles. Massive boss battles between godlike creatures that the players get to control. Before these came together in their final form for Final Fantasy 16, the development team headed by producer Naoki Yoshida used Final Fantasy 14 as a testing ground, and you can play it right now. Patch 5.3 for Final Fantasy XIV was released on August 11th, 2020. It marked the finale of the Shadowbringers storyline, but this patch also introduced a fight against the Sapphire weapon. The G-Warrior...
Imagine if you had not played 14 up until this point, and they're like, you can play it right now. You just need to play every piece of story content up through 5.3 of Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a taste of 16.
Yeah.
The G-Warrior fight was inspired by Final Fantasy XVI's Icon Battles. Battles. Oh, that was. I think that's a description for an image that's not there. While fighting against massive enemies like Sapphire Weapon is no unusual thing for the MMO, this particular fight gave players a unique experience by putting their Warrior of Light in the cockpit of a Mobile Suit Gundam-inspired mech called the G-Warrior. But another inspiration unknown to fans was Final Fantasy XVI's Icon Battles. Quote, it just happens that we were working on 16 when the G-Warrior content came out, Yoshida tells Inverse. It was pretty much influenced by what we were doing in the background on 16. The fight itself replaces the usual toolkit of the player and replaces it with a laser sword, with which to beat up Sapphire Weapon, a looming enemy that towers over the giant mech you pilot. The sense of scale feels larger than life.
Yeah, it's bigger than life.
Don't know about that.
Yeah, it's
When I saw it, I thought that's like all of life plus.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Final Fantasy 16 would be revealed to the world one month later during a PlayStation 5 showcase. The trailer spotlights some of the gigantic icons doing battle with each other. At the time, nobody knew these sections would be playable, and it was almost unbelievable to think that a prototype of those fights were already out in the world. The uniqueness of the... Okay, so I feel like they're fluffing up a lot in this article. It's not that crazy. It sounds like this Final Fantasy 16 is God's gift to man that's approaching, and it's unbelievable, guys. It was already in 14, this divine battle, this unthinkable, larger-than-life battle can be
Bigger
played
than
in
all of
14
life.
right now.
And they
A
say that
slice of
16
heaven available right
they
now.
say 16 is the biggest entry that they've ever seen, quite literally.
Guys.
But they don't know that 7 rebirths on 2 discs. So it's the biggest for now, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna skip maybe a little bit. I feel like a lot of this is just fluffing shit up. Yeah, I'm gonna
I
jump.
mean, you've got to get a certain number of words, otherwise it's not really an article, is it?
Yeah. The connection between G-Warrior and the Icon Battles is clear just by looking at the two next to each other. The only thing the G-Warrior doesn't capture to the extent that 16's massive jewels do is the brutality in every hit that lands on an enemy. Yoshida has been open about this being a mature game, but where I didn't expect that was in how visceral icon warfare is depicted. It is awe-inspiring, if a little terrifying. Okay. So there you
Terrifying.
go. There's some wording here
I mean,
that
it looks good.
is quite crazy.
Heaven on Earth is real because of this fight and
Yeah.
16
Guys.
coming out soon.
This is one for history books, guys. This is going to change history.
Scholars, get your pens.
World
History
peace
in the
will be
making.
achieved.
Holy shit, guys, it's happening. Yeah, anyways, but it's cool to think that 14 inspired No,
No,
16
16
inspired
for
14.
old 14 content.
Yes.
Which, let's be honest, I mean, it may be slightly. I can't remember the Sapphire Weapon fight perfectly, but I don't think it's. I feel like 16's larger than life, visceral, or inspiring, it a little bit terrifying fight is going to be a bit better.
Right.
I will say
conceptually.
one of the issues with fights in 14 in general is that there is no resistance when you attack an enemy. There's no,
No,
you don't
true.
feel anything
No.
when you hit something. In fact, you can walk right through most of them.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like the G Warrior was kind of like just a role-playing section, you know, where you play as an NPC.
It was.
Yeah.
It was cool because you were in a mech, but it was also cool when I got to play Zero or Hien or whatever.
Wasn't? You picked two of the least cool ones.
And then just whoever came into my mind first. Or playing all the other characters more. You know, when you get to roleplay, it's fun. Because like, oh my god, I'm Thancred
That's
now.
true. The Hien one was just particularly like
I
tiring.
almost couldn't remember if Hien happened, but I said it, so I was like, I think it happened.
That was one of the really earlier ones that were not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Great.
I'm sure it's true that it inspired the fight in 14. But as His Holiness Yoshida says, it was pretty much influenced by what we were doing in the background on 16. I feel like this was just something you said. It wasn't meant to be taken this literally, and now it's like, oh guys, listen.
Our patriarch and famous Greek bishop Yoshi P.
Yeah.
He anointed this fight.
This journalist, or apostle, I should say, is now he went a little overboard, but it's, you know, whatever. Yep, there you go.
Yoshida. Can't
Thank
wait
you.
to meet him.
Praise be.
Praise be. Okay.
I can't wait to pray at the altar of Yoshida once I get to London.
Yeah.
For sure. It's going to be great when we finally make it to heaven and
Yes,
Saint
amen.
Yoshida's there to greet us.
Amen, brothers. All right, let's move on. Yes, so 6.4. The issues keep rolling in. They do get fixed as well, but it's interesting. So on June 6th, there were some known issues posted that were confirmed, and they were as follows. In Anabaseus, the 12th Circle Savage, when the first caloric theory mechanic ends during high server loads, close caloric is reapplied, which makes the next mechanic difficult to clear. We're currently working on verification and release operations to address the issue as soon as possible. We expect to have this issue addressed by the end of Thursday, Japan time at the latest, but we are searching any means to implement the fix more sooner.
So Savage gets higher treatment than Extreme, for example?
Yes, because we actually experienced that issue yesterday while we were doing Extreme. Apparently, if this is a known issue that we talked about last week or the week
Last
before?
or the week before.
Last week, I believe.
Standing
Yeah.
on top of the knockback person.
If you stand on top of the knockback person in the Extreme version of the Vodcast Dias, the person with the marker gets pushed away and fucks up everything. So
It doesn't work correctly.
yeah,
Weird.
it's
It's
very
The person
strange.
who's
All the
supposed to
time
be
it
pushing
is.
everyone else back
Yeah.
can get pushed back instead.
Yes.
It's very
Yeah.
weird.
It's
Yes.
very strange.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
get why I mean, we haven't obviously got to the 12th Circle Savage yet. I mean, we're close. I think we're close. It's fair to say we're close, but we're not there yet. But
Not as
the
if we're
more
still working
niche
on it.
content is, the quicker it's fit.
Yes. It is interesting to see how much is going wrong with this patch in particular.
There's a lot, isn't there, actually?
Yeah, there's been a lot lately. I wonder why, but I guess
Don't
I
worry,
mean, they're all
though.
very
The engine's
well. The
great.
issue is that they're all very specific, small things that they can't necessarily like test for all individually. Like this is specifically something that requires high server loads,
yeah.
which
Well,
like
true.
you can't test every single mechanic during the Savage raids under high server loads. It'll be very difficult. They don't necessarily have the resources for that at all times.
Is that not a little bit scary, though, that in an instant server, where the only people who should be in that subsection of the server is you guys, if it's heavily loaded, it can affect how mechanics play out?
Mhm.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I understand on the overworld.
Isn't it the case that all the instance worlds are on the same like server?
I get maybe they need to think about their architecture.
Well, I don't know how that. Well, yeah, they are. Well, they're on the same server in the data center. Obviously, it's not one world server that we fight on. Obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should have like a scandal regarding that someday soon. Like, I want the next Ultimate to come out, and I want there to be like a solar flare that fucks up a mechanic in the servers somehow and lets them clear. And now we have to debate on whether a glitch from a solar flare would count.
Natural phenomenon, yeah.
I want that to happen.
And earthquakes changes the data to kill the boss instantly.
Okay. But anyways, they fixed it. On a follow-up, they posted, "We would like to report on the current status of the issue in Anabaseus, the 12th Circle Savage. When the first caloric theory mechanic ends during high server loads, close caloric is reapplied, which makes the next mechanic difficult to clear. The verification and coordination for the release have been completed, and the fastest method to address the issue... And as the fastest method to address the issue, we will be implementing the fixes of each of the instanced area servers in turn while the service is still running. We will continue implementing the fixes through midnight today, Japan time, and we'll make an announcement as soon as the fixes are implemented on all servers." That has, as far as I know, been done. So, problem solved for now. But that's it. That's the latest problems. So that's been sorted.
Wow.
No word on the Void Kaz Dias issue, though. But I'm sure they'll fix that. And what they should fix is visibility in that fight. That's,
yes. They'll never fix that. They didn't fix that.
No, they won't.
Purple on purple is not good. That is not a good combo.
No.
Not that we're specifically anti-purple.
We're not anti-purple.
Just
we are.
Get that out there.
Yeah.
Fuck the perps. Never show me an anti-perp or a perp ever in my life.
Okay.
Nope. We're
it's more offensive than it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it. That's all for recent events. So I guess we're going to jump into MogMail. Let's do that. MogMail, speakersxv.com/MogMail, of course, but we have a backlog, so I'm sorry if some of these are going to sound a little outdated, but we'll make it work. This is from Gato Lee Nelavar from Brynhilder. Do you ever just start reading and then you realize that maybe you should have read it before you read it? Happen right now.
Yeah.
Dear speakers, first time writer. I've been tuning into your Twitch streams lately, and I recently caught the long mail about Dalamud and it not doing so much damage. It made me wonder something, so I thought I'd share. After Yoshi P took over in 1.0 and the Dalamud story started, do you think they did originally plan on it doing more damage than it ended up doing? Or did they always have the plans to nerf the Calamity because of Louis Phoenix? Coil was an amazing story that I freaking loved. In an alternate universe, what would the game have ended up being like if Bahamut hadn't been stopped by Louis? Do you think Eorzea would have just been totally destroyed? Do you think we'd have started the A Realm Reborn story on another continent or something? Maybe 2.0 would have started in the New World. Imagine an expansion of going back to Eorzea to reclaim what was lost. It sounds like it could be fun. Or maybe start 100 years later instead of 5, since things would need to recover/rebuild longer and everything would be different. I'd love your thoughts. Thanks for the great content. You'll make me laugh, especially Mela. There you go.
I like
Mela as the jester of the day.
Yeah, Mela, jester of the day. All right.
Arbiter of comedy.
Yeah. I think, well, so there's a few things that we need to make clear. We were always going to return to Eorzea in A Realm Reborn, so it could not have been completely destroyed. That is clear. Also, we had the early artwork for A Realm Reborn show that, but it did also show that it was supposed to be a pretty devastating event.
Well, I remember I can't remember what the CGI trailer was called, but I mean,
the flames.
Bahamut was just
just throwing like meteors everywhere.
Yes.
all of the land was just blowing up. And then when the dust settled, it was like a little bit in Thanalan,
They
a
didn't.
little bit in the Shroud.
When they made that CGI trailer by VisualWorks, we know how VisualWorks works. Well, it's not called that anymore.
They're
It's called something
non-canon
else. But that was
to the
VisualWorks back then, so I'll refer to it as such. They would get the order like a year or so before, or I think a year for this. I think it took a year before they like shut down the service and showed us the trailer. So they didn't know to what extent they were going to like rebuild. There's like, that's why the shots of all the 3 city-states is so ambiguous. You don't really know what's happening. There's that famous shot of Limsa, and you see the rain of fire, but it doesn't actually hit Limsa. There's just a wave of smoke coming over Limsa to like give you the, oh, what happened? Turns out nothing. Like Limsa is essentially exactly the same in A Realm Reborn, except for like a few areas that apparently got washed
there's
away.
An entire set of docks that's gone.
Yeah, the docks are gone. And you could.
It got a little melty after. That's it.
Well, it makes sense because the wave that would have been produced by that would have been massive. So those docks would be smashed to
He
bits.
threw 100 meteors on Limsa. One of them hit a lighthouse but didn't even break it, and then the other one hit the
well,
beach
no.
and
See,
turned it into
I want to
crystal.
defend the A Realm Reborn design a little, because if you look at A Realm Reborn, some of the Dalamu damage is super severe. Like, there's like huge, massive damage all over the land, which is what my problem is that as the game progressed, it's like they were like, oh, it wasn't that bad. Have you seen the Burning Wall? Like, have you seen the Dalamud Shard in North Shroud?
One.
Like, it's crazy. So all of like Western.
Shroud's quite good.
If you go to where that huge shard in the North Shroud is, notice that there's some visual storytelling that's in lore. Most of that part of the Shroud burned down. There was a huge forest fire that just destroyed the whole forest.
Thank God, though, because of the elementals.
And the West Shroud completely destroyed, right? It's uninhabitable, apparently. So A Realm Reborn depicts a calamity that really, truly was devastating.
Good levels in some sections. For example, the Burning Wall is absolutely incredible place to explore and show the damage. But
it's a sad story with the Gobus. Like, there's some visuals.
States,
yeah.
A little bit less damage, even though that's where I would generally aim if I was a big fiery dragon.
They did.
I mean, I don't think Bahamut was specifically aiming at anything. I think he was.
It was just
chaotic.
random destruction.
Yeah.
But Ul'dah makes sense that if there was damage, it would easily be rebuilt. I mean, it's a fortress essentially. So they've.
It's been 5 years, I suppose.
Yeah, 5 years.
Hey, you can say Limsa. They built for the seas and the highways.
Yeah, they were meant.
It should be sturdy.
Yes, it was. So, and the only things that were destroyed were like wooden structures, like the docks that were blown away.
And like Gerobanian's actually quite far away from Cartano Flats, actually, so he wouldn't have wanted to travel that far.
Also,
actually, and even Ishgard is quite far away. So,
but Kurthus is a good example of the massive damage. Like, destruction there is also pretty extreme. Considering like
Boulder Downs, true.
Yeah,
Boulder
that's
Downs
a huge chunk there, and also the weather changed, completely destroying whatever any agriculture that they were doing there is gone.
Heavensward, but most of the Dalamud stuff didn't.
But
so
from Heavensward, I still think they treated the Calamity quite seriously in Heavensward, because we get to see the Western Highlands, where you see the camps that froze over.
They were cool.
The shards
like
that
the exploded etherite.
Etherite.
That was so cool.
But it's after that because they started to bring in Othard, and for some reason, they didn't want the Dalamud damage to have extended to Othard as much.
No.
Which is a choice they made, and after that, they started to like scale back the Calamity for the rest of Eorzea, and that is just how it is. But I think originally they did want this to be seen as like a huge this was one of the big ones. This was a Calamity, and yes, What do you mean?
It is.
Every other Calamity is a global event.
You have to remember.
As far as
you have to remember that the Louis Soir cutscene, the Flames of Truth, was added after A Realm Reborn was released. We saw End of an Era. That was canon, right? And then, they started changing it.
I think that it's not that surprising that it never hit Othard, because I feel like anything that hits one side of the planet is unlikely to reach the other side. That's not actually what I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember, so that's what I brought up.
Well, as far as the scale of the planet, I don't think Othard's like even on the other side of the planet. It would be there's still a lot of more
It
planet
feels like-
past that. You know what I mean?
It does, but it feels like the equivalent of distance between like Western Europe and like Eastern Asia.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eorzea or like Aldenard is like Africa, sort of. But then Europe doesn't exist, and it goes like up and then right to Ilsabard and then Othard.
Yes.
So it's kind
I
of.
remembered what I was what I was going to say. We know that it's a Calamity mailer because we've seen evidence that a shard was absorbed as a result
Well, that
of
is
the
true.
actions of the second.
My point was just like with the ice one, for example, that froze the oceans to the point where Makote migrate. Whole people's lives changed globally.
Yeah.
And like the fire one, that kind of been great. The earthquake one
They
destroyed the Allegan Empire.
They made I've said this
Which was
before, but
global.
in 1.0 they pointed the seeds that this was an era-ending calamity with that like wildlife was changing. They became rabid and weird. Crops were like failing. Like there was a lot of like bad things happening to Eorzea before this happened because just of Badalamut approaching. So and remember that Kurthus's weather has changed forever. It seems like while I don't understand exactly how they can defend that now, how it's so isolated to Ishgard or Kurthus only, and then like Othard on the other hand, like, oh, we're fine, we're doing fine, we're just chilling over here.
You know what?
I think that you go, Rollo.
The big Titan looking dude on the map just caught all the shards.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Right,
it's
It's
just-
to see him.
He was supposed to be a thing,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Yeah.
they said it.
I think that just goes to explain how powerful like Louiswa and Phoenix were. I mean, we know the extent to which how powerful primals can be. I mean, look at Heidel and Zodiac. We don't
That's true.
like you could make the argument that like just Phoenix was that powerful that it was able to prevent a lot of the damage
I
that
think
did
that's
happen.
what we have. Yeah,
I
I
think
think that's the point they're trying to go.
I just for the question though, I think originally it was meant to be all-encompassing damage that we would continuously see throughout the world. But then when they started on Realm Reborn, they're like, let's limit it a little bit. Louiswa stopped
if
it.
Louiswa hadn't stopped it,
Because
going sort of
otherwise,
later into the question.
otherwise, I think, like we mentioned, the city-states would have to be a bit more beat up. I think.
Well, I think we might have got into a situation where some Warrior of Light would have risen up maybe and done something, but yeah, it would have taken so much more effort and
Yeah.
time that
Yeah.
the destruction would have been.
It's
properly
only been 5
global.
years as well. The recovery would have to be much longer if he had been doing more damage.
Yeah,
So.
which are kind of with their idea of the starting in the New World and having a go back to reclaim Eorzea expansion. That sounds fun, and for
Yeah.
1.0 players, that would be really cool.
Mhm.
But for anyone who's not a 1.0 player, that would just be the game. We would just experience it identically, except this is the new lore. So I think only for 1.0 players, that sort of thing would be
That
exciting.
part is kind of sad to think about because that's sort of a once in a lifetime chance they would have had to do something like that for like the launch of a game, reclaim old land. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
you can't really do that now unless you do like a Burning Crusade kind of thing, not Burning Crusade, Cataclysm, or like in 11,
Well,
case where you
Burning
can travel back in
Crusade had
time.
a similar event when it launched, where you had to open the Dark Portal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
early WoW tried to do server-wide events, and they worked well, but I don't think they'd work as well nowadays.
No.
I just don't think our game is kind of built for
Oh,
that.
No.
I mean,
absolutely not.
well, the closest thing we had was those mods dumping the mods dumping mobs in the
Yes.
city states.
Yeah.
Which I think it's 1.0, so whatever. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game
yeah.
was about to go offline.
Back
so-
then, GMs would be characters and during events, NPCs and stuff. Like the journalists from the newspapers would be actual real people that would walk around. Obviously, we talked about this before. Would never work now. The game's too big. They would be
too
swamped.
big.
Like there would be just too many people.
They'd have to it'd be fun for like one server, and then everyone else would feel they missed out.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think the idea was that there was a GM on every server.
Well, it mimics it. Like,
Someone would be hired
code.
to be, you
Oh my
are
God.
that NPC.
Yeah, but also just imagine if, like, consider like the server load in places like in like Limsa or like Belmung's, like Uldar.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like just dumping like a bunch of enemies. Remember when they temporarily did that event that like recreated the Calamity for the Rising a couple of years ago?
Mm-hmm.
There was so much pop-in just in that one like server like instance location.
Yeah.
I think in terms of like server level fun things, we're limited to the firmament thing, the Ishgard restoration, and whatever will come next for that type of content.
Garland mold restoration.
You've already forgotten about Girabat. You've already forgotten about Alamigo. Then
I've given up on Alamigo.
You're giving up on Alamigo.
Yeah, they don't like Alamigo. They're never going to do it justice. All right.
Just Alamigo and Core. That's all you'll ever get.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Gato. Next, MogMail. From Chrome Dome Masamune from Genova. Hello, speakers. I wanted to know what the panel's starting city state was in A Realm Reborn, and what was everyone's starting job. Mine was Ul'dah and Pugilist. Thank you for your time. Love the channel. Okay.
Good choice with Ul'dah. Ul'dah represent. I was Thaumaturge Ul'dah.
Jesus Christ! Wait.
Now my original character.
Sorry, our slides are
was Archer. In
Gridania,
obviously, but it's not. Thaumaturge or people who start in Ul'dah are just cooler.
Yeah.
These are slides
from
last.
So much.
Yeah, I know.
Pretend
it's not happening.
Okay.
Anyone who started in Gridania is kind of mid. What are you doing with the slides?
I'm fixing it.
He's let him
well,
fiddle.
in the beta, I started as a conjurer in Gridania because I wanted to play a healer. But obviously in the beta, I was like, I'm probably not even get a chance to be a scholar if it's like something you have to unlock later. But then when I got to the maiden, when I actually started the game, I played an Arcanist and started in Limsa.
Typical.
First time around when I tried the game in was it 2.2, 2.3, something like that? And it was back when they had remember the system menus? They used to be 2 separate bars.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved that.
There was a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
I remember that's when I first tried the game. And then I played it. I was an archer and I was like, this game sucks. And then I didn't play for a long time. And then when I tried again, for real, I was a pugilist. And so.
Yes. Ul'dah.
I was.
You started in Ul'dah.
Well, originally I was a gladiator starting in Limsa in 1.0, and then when
that's wrong,
because you could just pick your city state, and then when I returned, I was forced because I was a paladin to continue, I should say, in Ul'dah. So Ul'dah paladin. That's how I started.
You know what's the best thing about 1.0? You could start as a fisher.
You could start as a
a
crafter and gatherer.
And you were,
but
the best part that you were then forced to do combat content essentially by throwing stones.
You could buy different types of stones.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't anymore.
You were on the boat and Leviathan attacked, but you were a fisher, so you're throwing stones.
Well, you could parley as well. Parley was like
with Leviathan.
Not with Leviathan, but that's how they solved instance battles with parley. That was
silly though.
Yeah, it was dumb.
That's a design choice from a different age.
Yeah.
That is a design choice that not even the oldest MMOs made the mistake of doing.
No, I don't think there's not much defense
11
of that.
was that stupid. Only 14 was stupid enough to make you be able to start.
They were bold. They were trying something, They were pioneers in
definitely
the field.
Trying something.
Yeah, it was shit. I can't imagine anyone starting the game as that, but I have heard some horror stories about people just thinking, okay, well, they're allowing me to play as a weaver, then surely the game is set up for that. And then they start and you have one attack and it's throw stone. Yeah, it's very odd.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I wish that was my starting job, though. What a backstory for my character.
I know, right?
I started as a weaver in Limsa. Great story. All right. I think I think that's what we...
One more.
Can we do one more? This one's too big, I think, for the screen. Is that too long? Can I jump to 4?
Wish can.
Yeah. I'll jump to 4. It's just so long. I want to do 4. All right, one more MogMail. Nope, that's not the right one. We've loaded up the wrong
Good
one.
effort, though.
Yeah, good effort, everyone. Why
fool.
is 5 loaded onto 4? That doesn't make any sense, Lukiel. All right. This is from Exion Aureus from Zodiark. Hello there, speakers. Long-time watcher, first-time asker here with kind of an addendum. During one episode, episode's MogMail reading, a discussion started around the Calamity ushering in a Realm Reborn's events, and if it even counts as one, as it was not only
Are
disrupted...
you talking about this episode?
but also centralized to Eorzea. This got me thinking about previous calamities, specifically the War of the Magi. As far as I know, the conflict between Mach, Amdapor, and Nim was also centralized to Eorzea, and even the resulting flood only mentions the impact it had on Eorzea itself, though it would make sense the entire planet was impacted in some way. Is there any evidence in the lore that shows or tells the results of any of the calamities had on the rest of the world, Ilsabard, Hingashi, and Othard specifically? Thank you for the countless hours of fun with both a podcast and various of a Realm series. Thank you, Exion.
Thank you. Well, we mentioned the one of ice earlier. That one affected the globe because it created ice bridges between continents, which is how the Mikote travel.
The concept
The Earth one definitely affected the world because it led to the entire destruction of the Alligan Empire.
Who had conquered the world and even a bit of space.
Yeah.
They mentioned that a little bit in the that Calamity and what's it called? The Tower, the
Crooked Coin or
Deep
whatever.
Dungeon.
No,
the Deep Dungeon lore stuff.
Heaven on High.
Heaven on High.
Yeah, Heaven on High.
is the name.
I think they mentioned that somewhat briefly in there. So there's that.
They mention the coming destruction. They talk about how like they know that there's something happening to the planet. I think.
Yeah.
But they don't know what.
Pre-calamity. That's kind of cool lore, though. Like.
Yeah.
We know something's coming. We can't do anything. It's kind of like Erithonius, really, in a way.
Yeah.
Got a feeling in my bones.
Yeah.
Fire, I can't quite remember. One of the earliest ones.
Do I have to?
Was it? Which one was the one where they made white magic? Was that ice, where they had to go into caves?
No. I
Which
don't
is the one
remember
where
the
they ended
exact...
up going into caves and they prayed so hard they were invented white. I mean, the trouble is they're all just based on random elements.
Yeah.
Well, the water one is the one that was after the War of the Magi.
Oh,
that was the
lightning?
one that led to the flooding.
There was the calamity. The first calamity was wind.
Yeah. And what was that all about then?
Let's see. Historians and scholars of biological fields, on the other hand, claim that mankind could not have simply appeared and suggest an evolution of the species in the thousand years preceding the first calamity. Okay, the first umbral... I'll just read this part. The first umbral era, the Calamity of Wind. Eorzea is characterized by elemental calamities, which plunged the realm into short yet harrowing periods of chaos known as umbral eras.
That's interesting, because that specifically says Eorzea.
Well, I was going to say that earlier. The concept of calamities is an Eorzean... It's an Eorzean concept. Followed by extended
periods.
That
some are more localized than like global.
Yes.
If that's the case.
Yes.
Well, the Calamity of Wind reached the sky.
But Dalamud, that's fun. I think we've already established this, that the Calamities is an Eorzean cultural thing. There was literally it was based on writings by a poet, I think, a Eorzean poet or whatever. But Dalamud
determines our year system.
Dalamud was a celestial object entering Heideland's atmosphere, wreaking havoc on everything in the land. That is sort of the point that we're making with Dalamud specifically.
Well, they say with the third one too, like the sun got bigger.
Yes,
like the star.
Yeah. So even if the calamities are a concept of Eorzea, the events themselves might be planet-wide.
Yeah. But it's most of them will have some effect. Like the wind one.
So it says
the lightning one was the second one where they went into the caves.
It says here that drawing from the songs and writings of countless civilizations, theologians believe prehistory to be a tempestuous time of uncontrolled creation overseen by a mercurial god or gods, a creation which abruptly ends with the destruction of all that exists, ultimately allowing for the rise of mankind from the wreckage. They're essentially, the first book is essentially explaining the Sundering.
End of days.
That's true.
An explosion that destroyed all of creation and then rebuilt. So it's
not entirely accurate, but it does.
It's close,
It has
yeah.
the basic idea of what happened.
yeah.
Yeah,
To be
which is cool.
of uncontrolled creation overseen by a mercurial god or gods. I mean, they did create crazy shit all the time.
He's not
Creation-
too far off the mark.
Creation which abruptly ends with the destruction of all that exists, ultimately allowing for the rise of mankind from the wreckage.
I mean,
That's actually kind of
bear
crazy that that's
mind,
in the
though, that
first
the-
lore book.
Well, but for the Eorzeans, they may have got some of that information directly anyway.
Well, then it says
through
historians
casting
and scholars of
machinations.
biological fields, on the other hand, claim that mankind could not simply have appeared and suggest an evolution of the species in the thousands and thousands of years preceding the first calamity. What the two groups do, however, agree upon is that modern history begins with the first Umbral era. There you go.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's kind of, this is a little bit of an aside, but it's kind of weird that in game lore, we both have the theory of evolution being very real.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Mikote looked different, like they did evolve to look different. But also we have the concept of intelligent design.
Yes.
Where like things were just made as is
Yeah.
and did not evolve.
Yeah.
So like it's such a weird thing to
Yeah.
have this going on at the same time.
It's very...
Yeah, they
yeah.
made them suitable for their environment. Maybe they can evolve once they create them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they talk about we do actually discuss this a little bit with Hermes in Elpis about how like sometimes the things they create end up evolving beyond what they originally intended. So they do have the capability of evolving beyond how they're created.
Yeah, once
They just have a
created,
better
evolution
starting
still
point.
exists in the world and
Yeah.
will take hold. So, the calamity we're thinking about with the caves is the second calamity.
Yes, the
That's the
second
calamity
one.
of lightning.
But in
Which-
regards to the question, the
Yeah.
one about the flood, that was the calamity where Njunkrepf created his ark, and
Yes.
his
Yeah.
ark is on top of a mountain in Giribania. So that gives us an idea
Well,
of the scale of the
no.
flooding. And I know that they teleported
No.
there.
Yeah, because I was going to say that's how it got there. We don't know
But-
if the water ever reached that high.
I would have. I mean, it's difficult, but it feels like if the water's going to get that bad in Charlian or wherever Njunkrip.
Charlian is much lower, has a much lower altitude than Giribania.
Yeah, it's got to have affected some of the world to have that much water.
Oh, I
You
agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it didn't necessarily reach the peaks of Giribania.
No,
Listen, sometimes we just got to make shit up to fit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes things are just written separately and we got to cobble
Well, and
something
I'm-
together.
They have the ideas for these events, but I don't think they went into like minute detail as to exactly how each
Wait.
part of the world would have been affected by each calamity.
and maybe in like Othard, they were affected by quite a lot of them, but they've just. I don't know. Maybe that's
Maybe they don't
just-
have any
They want to
records.
move on. Yeah, they just want to move on from now. It didn't affect them in the same way.
Right.
Like they'll have
Really
had the earthquake.
asked them.
But... Yeah, exactly. We've just kind of gone over, done our thing, and left.
Yeah.
Going up to an authority and be like, so what was your favorite calamity?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they might
The
not even have
fuck
the
is a
concept of
calamity?
calamities. Yeah,
Yeah.
they might have historical records, but they might not even like acknowledge them as like significant historical landmarks.
Well, we should talk to the auspices and talk to them about Calamity. Surely they've been around for so long. They must have some.
I don't
Well-
think the auspices
they're
are that old.
no, I don't think they
No.
are. They can only be a maximum of, well, not a maximum, but like they're at least 1,000, but you can still be only
Oh, you can
from
be
the
a
last-
young one, sure. But
So there's
I think
six
all of the ones
astral
that we know,
still.
from the 6th astral era.
Yeah. But
I think we'll get
we
more
do
stuff from
have
24 man. Honestly,
yeah, I was gonna say we do have the gods of Eorzea.
true.
So
that's going to be an awkward conversation. So, like, why didn't you do anything?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, why were you just watching as your people suffered and died?
Well,
Why'd
the
you let
impression that
Mikote
they've
evolve
given-
like that?
The impression they've given is that they're not allowed to directly intervene somehow.
I mean, yeah.
They work in mysterious ways.
Yeah,
Relish.
that's true.
I
That's
mean,
true.
you could say that with like an omnipotent god being, but like it's coming out to be that these are more like people that are very powerful, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, they're
And so-
definitely not omnipotent. I can tell you
Yeah.
that right now.
Oh yeah, there
We
is
have
proof
beaten
that
them.
we have proof that I mean, there's Ralger. He did a little bit of intervening during when he showed himself. Remember that? They talked about it in the 12-man raid.
But they say that that's accidental.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that was like a
accidental,
mistake.
but you know, there was something
It's-
there.
They talked about how they appear more frequently closer to Calamities because the veil between the what's the stupid
Oh yeah, the
realm they live
Phantom
in?
Realm?
That's what it was.
The Phantom Realm.
Oh yeah.
And like our existence weakens,
Yeah.
so they can more easily be spied by like the
Yeah.
people of Aetheris.
Yeah.
Maybe they just aren't allowed to participate in any way. Like when we find out who the 13th is,
Yeah.
maybe that will give us the answers to why they didn't.
It's
into-
Heidelin too. She left a
Wouldn't
little
that
bit
be-
of her soul.
Well-
It's Vanar.
well,
I didn't die.
It has
I'm back.
it has cleared up the religious side of Eorzea now, because back in the day there was this awkward split between like believing in the 12, who we don't even know if exists, and Heidelin, which literally talks to some people. Like Heidelin should have been the god, right? That should have been. Now she's dead,
Yes.
and the gods
Yeah,
are real.
God is
I
dead.
agree with you.
So-
Yeah.
And we used her as gas.
Yeah, yeah.
Or not her, but you know what I
Used her as gas.
mean. Used a little bit of fuel for a rocket.
Yeah, yeah,
Or her
Heidelin-
rock.
yeah.
You didn't shove a corpse into the exhaust pipe.
There's got to
Jesus
be
of
some
the
ether
Ragnarok.
in there, you know, like some fumes you can put
Just see her
into the
legs
engine.
sticking out of the fuel tank.
That would be funny.
Awful. All right. Well, yes. Some calamities impacted Othard, others didn't. But
Yeah.
the idea, the concept of calamities is an Eorzean. It is an Eorzean concept. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. You can send in more MogMail at speakersofv.com/MogMail. Now we're going to talk about spoilers. So for the last time.
We will.
There it is.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Tataru's Grand Endeavour. After this, we'll be talking about Island Sanctuary and Frontline, so that is coming up. But we'll start with Tataru's Grand Endeavour. A short one, this patch.
Yeah.
Felt shorter than normal, at least. I don't know if it's...
I
normal.
agree. It felt shorter than like at least the previous one with the Four Lords.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because this was 2 quests and the previous one was only 1.
Yeah. John.
Yeah. No Tataru.
And very clearly, like, almost two...
Oh yeah, Tataru didn't even appear. That is true.
Not even in
yeah.
one cutscene. Not even in the thank you bit at the end.
Mm.
Never there.
There was also...
Tataru's Grand Endeavor. No Tataru. I'm writing.
Yeah.
Come on.
there were also like there were 2 quests and 2 like almost separate feeling storylines that
2
we were going
acts.
through.
Yes.
2 acts, if you will, yeah. Recap. We go to Tataru's lady. I don't remember her name.
Boutique. The boutique of
lady.
Tataru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we want to start up trade essentially with Turncliffe or Whirlet or whatever.
We wanted to provide weapons.
Mm,
No,
to
they didn't say
go-
weapons.
Not
they
weapons.
Said gear.
yeah.
Yeah, military equipment. There in
Yes,
the market.
because they have an interim government now, and they want to, I don't know, I guess, I mean, obviously they would want to become a independent thing now that Garlemald's fallen.
Yeah, sure. They're like a mini state now.
city-state, even, if you will.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
city-state.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I like that idea. Rather than Garlemald just keeping everything.
Well, Garlemald
I don't
is not
see how
in
Garlemald
any...
could keep everything.
How
if
could
it
you
wanted
justify
to.
that?
That is,
Well,
yeah.
no,
They don't
but
even
it's
have
nice.
They have no structure to keep that.
You know what this
They
game's
can
like, though. It's
barely
just put-
keep themselves alive.
Yeah.
Put new government in and everything's as it was before. That's how this game works. But it's
I
nice
don't.
That
Well, that
might
would be
jump away.
disappointing if they did that. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think that would make no sense for Garlemald to be like, "Oh, we have a government now. We own everything again. Everything's back to how it was,
That's
guys."
what they. A lot of them
Listen,
think.
Yeah.
with those dudes there, I could easily see them be like,
Yeah.
you know, we're still like they're still our dominion.
That's
No,
true.
Exactly.
I can
mean,
definitely see.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, I could definitely see them trying that, but I
Yeah.
don't think they could get away with it. That's the
No.
issue. They don't have the manpower.
The losses
I guess
they
we'll stop
suffered.
those trade deals.
Right? Yeah, we can
Yeah.
sanctions. We can impose sanctions.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's freeze their bank accounts.
Yes.
I mean, how are they going to get away without Varshan's kindly charity and also what we offer them as the Ilsabat contingent?
Right.
Yeah.
Threw
What do
them
they got?
such a fucking bone. My God.
Yeah, and to be honest, if they get mouthy, let's just turn on the tower again.
Right.
That's,
Yeah, you know what? Oh, have it under constant threat. We can
Control
turn
the
on the
tower.
infinite pain vortex.
Yeah. Well, anyways, this is our ticket to Turncliffe, and she also is like, keep an eye out for something for the the necklace that we're
Yeah.
making.
present.
So we travel to Turncliffe. We meet Gaius, who's like already doing something. It's like, hello. Anyways, some shit going down. I need your help.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he doesn't actually say that. He says, "Ah, what a nice coincidence. I have some, but I can't deal with you right now. I have something to do." And then we volunteer.
Well, that's what
He
it was.
doesn't ask
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's been a heist.
There's
Prime heist.
yeah. And the
The-
details.
what is it? The Mark II. Is it still a G Warrior? Is it a G
It's a G
Warrior?
It's
Warrior.
still a
It's
G
Mark II
Yeah.
G Warrior. It's been stolen.
The red one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's red.
It's red.
Yeah.
So
Because that's what Mark II's always should be.
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. You start with blue,
like
then you
Evangelion.
go red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue, then red, then green.
Okay. Yeah. It's been stolen, so we go and investigate. And the kids show up. The three. I think we've seen them before. They're the children. TM.
Yes,
They're the
they're the children.
orphanage.
Yeah, the orphanage.
No, well, yeah, they
children.
were the three children that had to watch Valens doing his push-ups.
Those are the
Yeah.
children. TM.
Disgusting.
And they're like, "Oh my god, we helped. we told because it was
yeah.
Valens."
They
Yeah.
go into the hangar and watch the big machines all the time.
Yes.
That's what
and then-
children do. They sneak into places they're not supposed to be.
Yeah. And then they saw Milkman. He came back, disgusting. He sweats milk.
He sweats milk.
And he's like, I want that warrior. I want the G Warrior Mark II. And they're like, all right, here it is. And he's like, see ya, and leaves.
Yeah.
And
Well, he threatens them first.
yeah, of course, a little bit of threatening.
No.
And so that's confusing because Valens should be dead. We watched him pop.
That was a
Well, we didn't, but
well,
guys did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He
it was
savors
like a
that
great-
moment. Yeah.
cork off a bottle of wine.
Yes. So we have to get it back, and to do that we're going to use the G Warrior Mark I to because
Well, we got no other option.
I don't remember exactly how they knew where he was. How did we get to that?
He was going
part?
towards Garlemald because they assumed he would
Oh,
try
yeah.
and take.
Well,
Right.
no, I think they had a means of tracking it.
Oh, right. That's how it was. Yeah.
Well, once we were in air, we found them and could pinpoint them.
Yeah.
But I think it was a hunch
And then
from Gaia.
yeah, okay. Yeah, because the theory was that he's probably most likely going to Garlemald. So we get a cutscene of us in the G Warrior with all the displays popping up, and they, it's cool.
Yeah, weep boop, weep boop.
And then
Did you
get
like that the console was at a funny frame rate?
Yeah.
Like it was on a
I
on
like
a
that.
Metal Gear Solid or something. It was
Yeah,
great.
I liked that. And we find it. There's some epic cinematography in the cutscene, and then it throws us into like a mini game.
Well, before that, like we're talking to Gaius,
Oh shit!
and
the
then
Nero.
Nero,
Yeah.
Nero steps in.
I didn't even realize that
frequency.
Gaius hasn't met
Nero
Nero yet.
No,
That was,
no,
he called him
because-
Lord Balesar. Oh, it was good.
yeah.
Because I assumed that because Nero was involved in the building of the G Warrior Mark II and also the G Savior Mark II, they're like, at some point, Gaius and Nero worked together or met each other, but no, apparently not based
No.
on this conversation.
No.
Cool, though.
Yeah.
It's such a lovely reunion, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so he pops up and is like, I've given you have some cool stuff that I've installed, some missiles or whatever.
Yeah, but you've got to make sure they all hit.
Yeah.
Also, just a quick aside, what was your favorite Starlight event that they've done in Final Fantasy history?
This one. This was this. Yeah, because that's the mini game. The rhythm mini game.
The rhythm minigame.
Yeah.
I don't mind this. Okay?
It was alright.
I
It's
like
cool.
to see it back, but you know what I don't like about it? It never told me when it was over. So
Yeah.
when the cutscene continued, I was still on edge, ready to click.
It didn't.
Well-
It also didn't tell you when it was starting because it showed you this is how you play the mini game, and then the cutscene continued, so you didn't
It's
know
good.
exactly when it
I
was going to
constantly
start.
on edge
It
for the
also-
rest of the cutscene.
Yeah,
It's gotta keep you on edge.
yeah.
It also apparently didn't matter because someone on the subreddit talked about how they failed and like they thought, oh, fine, I need to go do something quickly, so I'll go do that. They walked away, cutscene kept playing. and it's the whole cutscene.
Oh,
Oh, that's shit.
I got a critical and everything, and he said, "You're a natural at this."
Yeah,
I got that too.
yeah, same.
Maybe he has a funny dialogue if you miss everything.
Maybe I'm assuming so.
Makes fun of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
we missed every single one.
We do eventually shoot him down, and the crash is, I think, exactly where Valens was popped at the end
Yes.
of his story.
Yeah, I didn't really, vaguely recognize it, but I think they say this
It's
is
that, like, brown
ironic.
field.
So it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That must be what happened.
Yeah. And he's like, you cannot be Valens. Because again, he
But you
can't.
look like him.
Literally can't. So they pop his
His face.
helmet off.
His owl visor off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he was wearing. And he had heterochromia.
Yeah. What?
That was,
One green eye, one orange eye?
yeah. Strange combo. Very vibrant eyes.
Yeah.
Beautiful to look at.
I got lost in them, actually.
Yeah, I almost fell in love.
And he is mad. He was Valen's actual lookalike.
He was a body double, wasn't he?
He had changed his appearance.
his appearance.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting.
Yeah.
That
So
someone
disgusting.
was made to look like Valens.
Most people get like plastic surgery to look better in their own heads, at least.
But this
You
is
know,
like a
but-
real thing in our world,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
for like
as well.
government stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they were like, and he's like, oh, Valens deserved everything and whatever. Like he was completely
Bruce.
lost in
Yeah.
the sauce.
Valens did nothing wrong. He's one of
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah. And it's obvious that he was trying to get to Garlemald to. It was, well, I will say it seemed unclear on his reaction, the lookalike, when Gaius, because Gaius said it's like, you were going to Garlemald to claim the throne for yourself. And he was like he wasn't, it wasn't quite clear on.
Maybe.
He just seemed mad, to be honest.
Really, I hadn't really thought this through, to be honest.
Right. Yeah.
I was just going for a fly.
Yeah. So Gaius kills him.
No,
Yeah, because he's
knocks him
crazy
out.
and he keeps talking about his. No, he's.
No.
Does he? I thought he killed him.
He says, "Don't you worry, I've not killed him."
Oh, he did say
Oh.
that. Okay. It's been a week for me. That's too long.
It has been
for
a
my
while
brain.
since I did it. Yeah.
But you never see him again. You never get any conclusion.
Well,
of
actually,
what
that is
happened.
interesting then, because that might mean he will have an arc at some point. That would be
Ugh,
interesting.
let's
But-
hope not.
Valens looking.
Because why did
will
he
we
give him?
reverse his plastic surgery?
Yeah, why did he get such weird eyes?
He turns super handsome.
Maybe he's the new custom deliveries NPC.
Yeah,
maybe he
or
was
the
in
new
the
East
process of.
edition.
maybe he only like got to the surgery for one eye, and then Valens was killed, and he was like, no,
Yeah. Yes.
all for nothing.
I love that he says it like that as well. No, all for nothing.
No.
It's like, oh well. Yes, so that's end of Act 1. Act 2 is the children obviously they just saw Valens again, so they're kind of, obviously shooketh. But now we're like sort of turning to another story. And it's about I always forget her name.
Allie.
Yeah.
The last remaining I guess daughter of Gaius, if you will, adopted. And the children
helping out at the orphanage.
Yeah, she's been very nice. So the children want to give her,
well, they want to make her dream come true.
Her dream come true is what they want. And her dream is depressingly impossible to grant her because she wants her siblings back, her family back, essentially.
Yeah.
So they're like, well,
maybe we could make her a painting.
We can make her a
she can
painting.
at least remember them.
Yeah.
Why don't you come to the telescope? We can take you down there real quick. Maybe you can find their soul. Say hello.
Yeah.
Let's bring Kakaitis back, and he might be able to turn into one of them.
Yeah. Well, they picked a different route. They talked to what's her name?
I don't remember her name.
Nice lady.
It was Melisandre's friend, but I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she has an idea anyway. So because we were like,
a plan.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Just get her down here.
Gaius and
the children had planned for an artist to be involved. They'd already got the artist involved.
Yes.
They'd already paid the big bucks, but it's not the artist we wanted necessarily. But it is a good artist.
Yes.
But I was hoping it was the Bob Ross NPC.
It was just a local artist. Yeah. So Gaius and Ali, they appear, they show up, and they're like, just have a seat there, and we're gonna paint a painting of you. And then this other woman pulls out a node of some sort.
No, do you not remember this node?
No.
No, I didn't remember the node.
It was the heart of the diamond weapon that contained Alphonse's soul.
Oh, that's what it was.
They could have put a little remember where we got this
Yeah,
from.
I feel like a flashback. It's been a year at this point.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
No, remember.
If you remember at the end of the Whirlet storyline, there was an epilogue where it like activated and it brought all the ghosts of all the people that were involved around, and they were running around everywhere.
Right.
Mm.
Right. That does ring a bell. Okay. Anyways, she brings it out. It pops out the siblings, and then they paint the painting, and everyone's happy. We get the painting, and then we leave.
A very nice painting. I will say I don't fully understand how she was able to manipulate this artificial heart to make them appear exactly where they needed to for the painting, but
she'd been practicing.
Yeah, she fiddled with it a little bit,
Yeah.
Originally they were like T-posing behind them, but
they seem to have some degree of like autonomy though, if you remember the original quest.
She's freed their souls.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was cute.
We're not meant to question it. It's just a
They were
nice thing that
wearing
happened.
armors as well. That is true. The last time they appeared, they were wearing their their mobile suit armor.
I think you're asking too many questions, Georgi. This is not. Okay. Well, anyways, you get the painting. It's a very nice painting, and I like that you get it as a housing item. So I will say, why does Gaius's face pop out of the painting so much more than the others? Take a look at that painting.
The face a few times.
Something strange is happening to Gaius's face in the painting. Don't know why.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is it so small?
That is,
It's
yeah.
just-
I
I
don't-
took a screenshot of it when it showed up, so I could at least see it big.
Yeah, it's a bit small. It's in our FC house, and you can barely like notice it if you don't know where it is. Go find it in the FC house if you. That's
Yeah,
that's
so give
a
a hunt.
yeah, that's a game for you.
So, yeah, so we do that. We made the trade with Turncliffe, and we go back to Tataru's boutique. What did we get from them again? I cannot remember.
A shell. We got a little
a
rose
shell.
pink seashell.
Yeah, which is unique
Apparently
to
they're quite
Turncliffe.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very valuable.
Who gave it to us?
The children.
The children.
The orphans.
That was like
Okay.
as a thanks
Like a
for
thank-
helping out.
yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Very nice, short little story. 2 stories, I would say.
I thought it was a good one.
Yeah.
I've not checked the unending codex or whatever to look for any new entries. I'm sure there are some, but
Yeah.
I thought it was, yeah, it's pretty good. I feel the absence of Tataru is quite jarring though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She should have been there at the start or the end just to explain what's going on. Like,
I agree.
Well, the next one will be the big finale.
yes.
I guess it has to be, yeah.
We'll
That'll
actually
be-
see the
that'll be
necklace that we've made. So
I'm looking
yes.
forward to that. I want to see
And
her reaction.
I'm gonna
That's
love it if
right.
they're like, "Here's a necklace for Tataru. It's beautifully modeled.
just
We
hand
made
over.
you a copy too, just for you."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exact copy, so you can
Oh,
have it
yeah.
as well.
Yes.
I just worry that it's going to look like a really shitty Pandora bracelet.
It will, yeah. I mean, it's got like a little bit of shell, a little bit of
Mm.
Yeah.
blue gem or whatever. I can't remember.
And also, like, just in the cutscene, they're like, "Here is with the thing that you've been working on for 2 years," and then just the handover animation.
Yeah,
you
just
never
the-
see it.
Oh,
And she just goes, "Wow."
and she does put it on.
I'm just we'll probably put it like in a box or something and cut to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Mhm.
So who's last?
Who is last?
Who's last?
Oh,
it's
for the
probably
last-
an Endwalker thing.
Mm.
It might be something from the first though. I mean, maybe they'll be like, "Yeah, can you get us something like otherworldly, different universe kind of vibe?" You know?
Uh-huh.
Well, no, because the idea is that we need to be able to trade with them, Rollo. I don't know what we have to trade with the first right now.
The
Moon
Fae
stuff,
have
maybe?
contacted us from the weather mains.
I don't-
Whatever.
I wouldn't mind if the Fae did it, but I think if it's from Endwalker, Ultima Thul's too far,
Mm.
and that would be. We don't need to go
Right.
back there again. The moons-
Garlemald.
maybe.
Could be Garlemald. It could be. Well, I mean, all of them since the Sky Pirates has required you to complete a certain side story quest line.
Yeah.
So
The near
Maybe-
one with the dwarves. Yeah.
Shut
no,
up.
I was thinking.
How dare you even
Endwalker.
speak?
Maybe
How
it
dare
will
you
have
even
required
speak?
you to,
That's not what I meant to
complete.
say. Yes.
Yeah, maybe it will require you to have completed Pandemonium, and you'll get like, I've chipped off a shard of Sabine to give to
Oh,
And then
a little-
Tataru becomes evil.
She
a
becomes
little
evil.
bit of corruption. For
And
you.
that's the pivot. She's like the
Yes,
boss, like
that's
the
what we
the
always
villain
said.
in 7.0.
Do you know what I think the most likely option is? You're right. It'll be probably Elpis related. I don't want to go back to the moon and talk to the stupid rabbits again. I don't want to go to Ultima Thule and have to
Get a piece of
like,
carrot.
shine a lamp on my screen to navigate.
Yeah.
Like, I just Elpis is the Elpis is the
Elpis.
one.
El shit.
And Garlemald, they're just miserable. I don't know. Tataru's not going to. What are they going to give her? Some, like, shell casing? Oh, look, yeah, enjoy the
Well,
shell.
no,
casing.
Mela, maybe they raid the Imperial Palace and take like the crown jewel of
Oh,
Garlemald.
yeah, now I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just the whole crown around the necklace.
Yes,
Like Flavor Flav.
beautiful. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Was a nice little quest line this
It
past.
was like one of the best ones. I'm enjoying this side story.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yes.
was my fave trial, or one of my faves, I think. So it was nice to catch up with all that stuff and get a little bit
Mhm.
of closure.
Yeah,
Hope-
I agree.
hope we
Well,
get
it
to talk
was
to 'em
super high
again.
quality.
Okay. Well, that's
Shannon's right. Garlemald have just started trading again.
yeah.
Maybe Tataru can be one of the first to do that, to enter that marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
He did it a little bit reluctantly.
Well, I mean, I think they'll soon realize that they have to start trading to survive.
That's true.
I think we got to kill those senators.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I said this when we talked about the MSQ. I don't understand. I thought that they were like bourgeoisie, and we were supposed to like when we went to senators, and like it was really well maintained. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Why do they get this?
Yeah.
You know what? I think we got to
Proletariat should
instigate.
rise up.
Yeah, we got to instigate a little bit of class struggle into this bitch.
Yeah.
Take pictures and be like, you see these bitches living like this? They don't want you to turn on the infinite pain vortex. You don't listen to them?
Oh, the rise of communist Garlemald. Hell yeah.
Why not?
All right.
Instigated by Tataru.
Yeah.
She could start her own cult of personality though. She could have statues of Tataru.
Glorious leader Tataru.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tataru Manifesto.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Moving on. Island Sanctuary also got some updates. I'll be honest, I haven't done anything.
No.
Really? Oh.
No.
No.
So
Have you done the rank 15 quests, Rollo?
No, I actually just did it this morning, and all I did was just set up my my granary and all that, or my new workshop.
Oh, okay. So you got to rank
And-
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've upgraded all the other granaries and workshops to rank
Yeah.
level 4? Okay. So you'll have a chance to do the quest soon. That makes it more difficult for me to talk about this then.
Yeah.
We can
What,
talk
did
about the
you
changes
enjoy
to
it?
the island.
What? Sorry?
We talk about the changes to the island. We haven't even talked about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh,
What
yes, I
changes
really like the
came
new
with
cave
these?
section. There's a cave that
Yeah.
the mammoths discover.
Okay.
So they find something and then like give us tools to dig, and then you give them tools to dig, and then there are
Okay.
spriggans in there, and you
Oh,
can
did I
get
get
like
cave?
what?
What?
Pretty sure I said cave.
You?
Put a black and white on that, Lucia, just in case.
Oh, that we were gonna get cave. Yes,
Yeah.
you did say that, Mela. Yes.
I think every one of us said that
We
there'd
all
be
said
a
that, in
cave.
fact.
No,
I
put
think
a
that was-
global black and white first right now.
Yeah. I don't think that was too hard. I think that was an easy grab for us, though. I think that's
I
what
mean, I
most
did not
people
know
expected.
how else we would have expanded it. I do
Put
get
it
the
black and white.
impression.
Yeah, we thought it was going to launch
I
with
do-
caves. That's why we were. I mean, it was weird that there wasn't any caves to begin with. So it was a natural
Yes,
evolution.
I do get the impression that you, based on how the map changes when you go into the caves, they will be able to expand the caves further
That's cool.
and like include more areas in at least the next patch.
That's
Can you
good.
fly in the caves?
Yes.
That's fine
Nice.
I will say the fourth workshop kind of sucks.
Why?
Which I know sounds weird to say, but like because I would usually just use like the spreadsheet that like I forgot the group that makes the stuff, but they have like a spreadsheet where you can put all the stuff if you want to do it yourself, and if you don't have everything just yet.
Casual.
Yeah, that's it. And I was doing that, and then like the math just doesn't math with a fourth one, basically.
Oh.
Because the way that it works, like with the peaks, the fourth one just throws everything off.
Yeah. Almost always you'll need to set one schedule for the first 3 workshops, and then the 4th workshop will have a completely different schedule,
Yeah.
which is a little bit annoying.
Okay.
I mean, I just do what they recommend every week. It's much easier than having
that's
to
what I'm
figure it
gonna
out myself.
Because I like doing it myself. I was like, oh, I'm playing in my little spreadsheet. Yeah. And it's just ruined. They took away my spreadsheet fun.
Mm.
You can
Mhm.
make a new spreadsheet, maybe. Maybe there's a way of making it work now that you just haven't figured out.
I mean, maybe,
Yeah.
but with what it seems like, it's just the way peaks work. It's not possible
That's
to
disappointing.
do it optimally, of course.
I I don't mind having a new workshop, even if it does mess with what the community had previously been able to create. What I want is an expanded pasture and expanded crop yard.
Yeah, because they added 4 new seeds, I think, right? 4 new.
Yeah,
Oh
they
my
dark
god.
crops.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
you got to balance that with your food that you make for the animals, and you got to make sure you have enough for whatever craft is. And don't forget, it takes 2 days to grow a crop, so
Yeah.
like you can't just be like, "Oops, I ran out of this." You
That's-
just got to make do without it.
Okay. Well, there is room. You
But
can
it-
tell that there's room for at least one more expansion of the crops area, I think, if you fly
Yes.
over. Yeah.
Yeah. The issue is the pastures, because I don't see how they would expand
Yeah.
that. But 20
That
years
one-
just does not feel like enough.
You should fill it up. Just make it more cramped.
Yeah, when you get to rank 15, you do get a nice new little quest of some visitors coming to your island. At rank 12, it was Sirena and Sardu. At rank 10, it was rank 10? No, I think it was rank 9 actually. It was
Mistbeard
was it Mistbeard?
or whatever his face is.
Oh yeah.
Millward's
The
right hand
yeah.
man, and then someone else.
That's Mistbeard. Yeah.
I won't say anything about what happens, but I will spoil who visits.
Yeah.
The visitors you will get at rank 15 this time are Emma Lane and Sicard.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Do you like the glamours, the new glamours and stuff?
I do like them. I like
Like little tassel-y bit on the chest or the waist. It looks fun.
What were that?
I don't think I've looked at them.
I don't think I have. I don't think I've looked at them. No.
There's
yeah,
a new
you'll get-
mount, which is cool.
there are a couple new mounts. There's
Some
the
more
3 new
vegetables.
mandragoras. Yeah, mandragora, queen, onion. Wait, what was Tomato King and onion jester?
Oh, yeah,
Or
those-
garlic jester.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then once you hit rank 16, then you can also get a aurochs or a buffalo.
Which
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
makes sense,
sure.
but it's a bit ugly.
It's
It
very
is a bit
mount.
ugly. I don't disagree with that at all. It's
all a
not
reward.
exactly.
Why not?
It's more expensive than the Sarcosuchus, which
Yeah.
I thought was, or island alligator, which I think is cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Well, there you go. Was it? I'm assuming we approve, except for the. No, it sounds like it was just a.
If it's more
decent
of like,
upgrade.
we
it's-
all enjoyed Island Sanctuary initially, so it's just more of the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
I will say, I think it would suck to be a new player to start from 0 for Island Sanctuary, just because most of the communities kind of moved on from that. Like they don't make
Yeah.
as many guides for
I
like.
I never looked up any.
I have never
Guys,
looked
when
up
we
a guide
started,
for
no.
this ever.
It's very easy to progress, even if it's not optimally.
Yeah.
I don't think
There's
would
no
be too bad. It's
point
at
in
your
doing this
pace.
optimally because there's no
No.
competition.
I need as many fucking crowns as I can get.
Well,
Okay,
most people
That's-
don't. The only
I'm
time you
using
need
that
that is for the
money.
achievement for like a certain amount over a certain period of time.
Mela, I need all the carries I can get so I can I can take advantage of the market and sell all the gathering and crafting
That's
material
fair.
that I can
Exactly.
afford.
Well, that's
fair.
But you have that option. But as a new player, they don't need to do that.
No.
That's
No,
if
they don't
they
need-
want to.
But
find
you
old-
should do it right now.
No, you should not.
get the
Take your
rewards.
time. Enjoy.
Yeah,
This,
but
it.
it's expensive.
this is supposed to be content that is not stress based. You're
Yeah,
supposed to
it's no
just chill
stress,
here.
Stress
Look at me, Lukiel. At most you can make like maybe 25 to 28K per week selling stuff. The rewards themselves, the good ones, are easily 6K each. Now you do that math. That is months of fucking doing to get everything. So do it now.
Uh-huh.
Optimize.
Okay. All right.
Do what you
Jesus.
want to do.
All right.
guys.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's Island Sanctuary. Decent
Give me-
update.
Next patch.
Sorry, what?
I want a new granary. Give me a new granary.
a new granary. All right.
Give Georgi no new granary.
New granary,
Ever.
more crop space, and bigger pasture. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Frontline redesign. We were wrong. We were
Is this a
wrong
metaphor
about
for
Shatter.
Frontlines?
Is
Or
this
for
a,
Shatter?
this is a metaphor for Shatter? Yeah. We were wrong about one thing. We were right about another. I think we were right about. Wait, let's start over. We were wrong about the redesign of the map. It is not that bad. Because when comparing Shatter's old map to the new map, there's actually more shit in this one that is more that's more historically accurate to what it's supposed to be.
So like the visuals of it.
Yeah.
Sure,
I do
sure,
agree
sure.
with you. I actually think the map is not terrible.
Right.
Mhm.
The map, okay.
I mean, visually.
Yeah. The game mode maybe isn't that great.
Matter still sucks. Sorry.
It sucks a little bit more.
Small.
Yeah, it sucks more. It sucks more. The
It
fact
used
that
to be a mixture of PvP and PvE,
yeah,
and now the option realistically is run back and forth between your 2 points and kill the things.
yeah. The game
there's, you know,
they
there's the option to
increased
PvP, but
they increased the score required to win,
To
which makes
2,000,
which makes it
400 more
longer.
points. No
And
one wants to be in Frontlines for that long.
There is hardly a PvP element left in this game mode. It's all
Yeah.
about focusing down the crystals constantly.
And they spawn endlessly.
Yes. This makes sense because we've seen this like weird trend in live letters where Frontline used to be part of the PvP section during live letters. Now it is a distinct separate part. They will do PvP news and then they will do Frontline. So I think they're slowly shifting away from like PvP being like a secondary feature of Frontline, and then the main goal being
I
other
don't
things.
understand their logic. It's very, very simple. Make it 8v8v8 with an 800 cap. That was so fun.
Yeah, it was
PvP
better.
Frontlines was so
But I don't
fun
know if
back
it would
then.
work on this map. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if they're designing it for like 72 players every time, fine. You make it just it's so boring.
I don't get their like design priorities when it comes to PvP sometimes. Like I feel with Crystal Conflict, it's like pretty like they get what they want to do for the most part and they nail it. But with Frontlines, I mean, I think it's always been like this, but especially since the like Crystal Conflict was out and they had all of like the big PvP changes.
Yeah.
They just kind of don't know what it should be.
No.
And it feels very, I mean, that's why a lot of them feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised they somehow made this worse because
that's an achievement.
Yeah,
I know. I'm one of the people that actually didn't mind previous chatter. I liked it because like there was enough balance between killing crystals and like killing other players that it didn't bother me. I understand that some people thought there was still too much crystal, like attacking just the crystals, but I thought it was fine. It feels like that's all you're doing.
Yeah, that's why it's so strange, because the main complaint from people was there's too much focus on the damn crystals. And then it seems that they looked at that and was like, more crystal. And that's what they did.
That's the thing, is it feels weird, is that like obviously the PvE part of this entire game is the focus, and that's what they're good at.
Yeah.
Is PvE stuff.
Yeah.
And then game modes that have like elements of PvE VP fare better, I would say.
Yeah.
Like with Crystal
theoretically, yeah.
With Rival Wings, I think it's kind of one of the better examples of the sort of
Which
better
they
implementation.
abandoned,
Yeah, they gave up. Like they were on the right track with that, with like maybe like a split between the two, but maybe like a bit more focus on the PvE parts, like almost like a MOBA, but with more PvE.
It was
stuff.
a good, it was an attempt at a MOBA, which didn't
I recently leveled an alt and I unlocked Rival Wings. I think we've talked about this before, but it's still shocking. They still show you the cutscene with Astragalus when you unlock Rival Wings.
Just see like, what the fuck is this place?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think the two main issues with this. One, the crystals respawning. They don't need to respawn. They don't need to spawn as frequently as they do, because that makes it so that like that's all you're ever focused on. It makes it feel like I am in the field of Zadnor, running back and forth between plates that I need to clear before they disappear because the horde has already reached them.
Yes.
And two, the point requirement is so high it makes it go forever.
Yes.
Like I did not want to be in there longer. That was not
no.
How did they decide that like people wanted to be in shatter longer? They decreased the point requirement for Onsalkar and Seas, but they were like, no. Make
you
it
touched
longer.
on a good point there, Georgi, about the Zadnazor horde, because some people in chat like the larger alliance size. Fine, you do you. I preferred 8v8v8 because I felt I could contribute more evenly to the experience to our side. And in 72 players, if you're just behind what the leader has told you to do, you'll just get there, and they've done the task. So now they're all going back against you. But now, I'll go back with them. But you're just a little bit behind them because you were like a bit thrown. So you've got two options. Do you solo a crystal, which takes forever, or do you constantly miss out on doing everything?
Yeah.
And then the only time when the horde ends up being where you can maybe make a difference is when it hits the actual PvP section where it's 2-horse clash.
Yeah. Well,
and maybe you can make a bit of a
I
change
know that
there,
I know that you like 8v8, but I do see it in chat as well. I do remember when that was an option. Few people liked that mode. I think that's just the reality of things. Is that
it's fair. If it wasn't popular,
it was a very unpopular
don't
mode.
force it. But I think if the maps were designed for it, I think it would be very, very popular.
I actually think 8v8v8 would work better on this version of the Shadow map. I think it's small enough that it could work.
Yeah.
I think on the previous Shadow map and also on the other current Frontline maps, they're too big.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
if that's what they want. Go for it, but
it's what they're designed for. But it's like, again, it just doesn't feel good.
No.
I like to feel like I'm contributing.
Yeah,
I have enjoyed the larger sizes more since the changes to PvP, because as a scholar, you can just spread like disease to like an entire swathe of people.
Yeah,
it's very satisfying, and I don't get that in any other mode.
Right.
Because they took away my ability to spread my dots.
Yeah.
That's what you deserve, Georgie.
It's interesting because I think Frontline was what was originally meant to be like this large scale, like siege almost type PvP, and I wonder if maybe that's which. Do you remember this? There was this artwork of this giant fortress.
Oh yeah.
And then
this was meant to be the new PvP mode for the expansion.
Well, that was
at some point, whatever expansion it was for originally. I can't remember.
No, I think this was literally for like earlier Realm Reborn originally. This artwork, but it resurfaced. I don't remember, but it was like this huge. I can't find it now. I'm trying to find that artwork, but and that one was clearly most. I don't understand how they were going to do that, by the way. Like, but obviously, clearly, what they wanted Frontline to be is large scale PvP. That's probably why they keep pushing these like huge teams, alliances still, because that's the concept. The core concept is large scale battles, while PvP is crystalline conflict. I think that's.
Yoshi P came from a Dark Age of Camelot background, so he probably is trying to recapture 1v1v1, like 3-way PvP.
Yeah.
I don't think 3-way PvP works very well. Maybe it was okay in Guild Wars 2 with the world PvP thing, but not in this game. I think two-sided PvP.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. It was... yeah, I'll try to show it, but...
show us, Grandpa.
Almost.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's...
Yeah.
There
that's
it is.
familiar.
That
with
was...
the regiment, so... Do you think players were gonna like formate that?
So one team
square formation.
But the thing is,
yeah, I don't know how this would work actually.
That's just rival wings.
Yeah,
it is just rival
kind
wings.
of. I guess.
I mean, I think it would be cool if they made a rival wings map. This is kind of unrelated now. I think it'd be cool if they made a rival wings map that was asymmetrical in the sense similar to Overwatch, where one side is defending and one side is attacking.
Yeah.
Push the cart. All that shit.
Exactly,
That's
and
fun.
it can have either it's just you played as defense that match, or it swaps halfway, or it's like best of 3, whoever wins 2 of the rounds, whatever.
Yeah, this is by the way that artwork was original from.
That would be really fun.
There's a lot of potential with the rival wings concept that they just haven't done anything. I do also think there is potential with Frontlines, but like I've just not been given. I mean. I think Ontalkar and Seas I used to not like. Seas has actually gotten better than what it used to be, especially with the lower limit. Ontalkar is easily the best version of Frontlines that we have.
Yeah.
And I don't understand this version of Shadow. They took one of the worst aspects of Secure and put it in Shadow.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, Secure, we should mention, gone now.
Yes.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
Which arguably was the last pure pure-ish PvP mode for Frontline. You could argue.
I'd love to see them make a Frontlines where there's no objectives and it's just whoever gets the most kills. Or the highest point.
you want TDM and fucking
Yeah, if you try and do a TDM in this game and see what happens, because no one's going to enjoy it.
No,
We
nobody.
used to have Slaughter.
No.
We used to have Slaughter and they got rid of us.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
I wonder why.
Again, because like PvP in this game isn't like it's not designed right. Like the focus is always PvE. So like
Yeah.
incorporating that into your PvP is like a mandatory. Like that's why with Crystal Conflict.
Just
like,
for the love of God, bring back Rival Wings so I don't have to play Shatter. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bring back all of the Rival Wings maps. I don't. Why do we still only have one map?
Where's Astragalus gone?
Why?
You've got to have fixed it by now. What are you doing?
I'm done.
It's been actually years.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what she looks like. I
Yeah.
miss her.
Yeah. But both of them were such good, like the God, whatever the new one's called. I can't remember what it's called. But
Gob.
the train
Stopper.
thing in the
I
middle
don't
is so
remember.
cool.
Yeah.
You can just get run over by a train.
Yeah.
That's
I like
great.
the little camps too that you can
It
get
has
that like
creep
that push.
camps.
Yeah.
They push the lane.
Yeah.
Why don't they monopolize on a really good
Like-
mobile light concept?
I think you could easily just add creeps to fucking Shatter. It would be like 1,000 times better. Like,
Yeah.
creeps that siege the crystal for you. Like you can't
Yeah.
siege the crystal yourself. You have to siege the creeps, and they do it.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's
Gosh.
PvP maps that we have lost that they can bring back. Lycanweed, I miss you, baby. Please
Oh, I
come
miss
back.
You can still play Lycanweed.
You can,
How?
but in custom match,
Community.
which is
Oh, right, yeah, sorry.
not the same. I
It's not
want
the same.
I want to be able to play it for real.
Yeah, remake Lycanweed for
What do you
CC.
mean by for real though? Like
You
wanna
don't
just
get
do the
anything
feast
from
in
doing. You
Lycanweed?
don't get anything from doing custom matches.
Yeah, you can't even
No.
progress anything.
But
Why
are you
would I
gonna
do it
really
then?
choose like? I mean, my point is, why would you choose to do that when you? Would you choose to play the feast in Lycanweed versus
No. But
Crystalline
they can
Conflict
they
if
can
both
take
were
the
available?
zone and remake it in CC.
Yeah. Is there any?
Well, that would be a completely different map.
The feast
that
doesn't
point.
exist
It's
right
based
now,
on it.
right? We
No,
can't
no,
do
it
the
doesn't.
feast anymore.
No.
So can we still do Lycanweed?
No, actually, no. I think they're all taken out.
Yeah. So there you go. There is nothing.
But-
Yeah.
But outside of the feast, though, bring back all of the feast maps except the Wolf's Den, because that was shit, as CC map.
Actually, I have. There is again leveled and alt. Unlock PvP was the last thing I do. You go to the man to unlock PvP. He's the Crystalline Conflict man now. He the guy who used to be
Yeah.
the feast guy.
Yeah.
I worry.
Lycanweed
Is,
and
is the feast?
Crystal Tower one was good.
Have they sunset the feast without telling
Yeah.
us? Is that
Basically.
No, they said that they were going to sunset the feast.
Yeah.
They did
I
tell
mean,
us.
the
That's
feast
what
was the
feast was.
worst game mode out of them
it's
all.
never coming
Yeah.
back.
No,
No, they said that.
CC is the new feast.
Oh my god! I think I must
But
have.
they've taken a lot of assets with it, and
So we
I
are.
don't
So
care
I
for
was
this-
right. You are never going to be able to play Lycanweed or any of the other
No.
maps.
no.
No, I mean, they might take inspiration for them to make Crystalline Conflict maps, but like they do not work for Crystalline Conflict
No.
in their current
No, they're
form.
not
They would
designed
need
to
to
be
be
that.
I
made.
accept
They would need
that.
to be
I would
changed.
accept a Lycanweed CC map, which looks like Lycanweed, but it's obviously
I think
a newer arena.
I
Same
just
with the
got
Crystal Tower one.
I think I just got confused when Georgi said you can still play it because I just assumed. Oh,
No, I
the
got
feast is still
confused as
around,
well.
guess.
I was thinking for a second that you could, but no, you
No,
can't.
no, the
I
feast-
was confusing it with the time that you could still play on them, even though technically they never came up in the feast room
Right.
when you
Mhm.
went into.
But the feast is gone. It doesn't exist. You
The
can't
Right.
play
feast is
it.
completely gone.
As it should. That was the worst mode known to man. I
Agreed.
could not.
Yes.
That was. I've never played a more ass game mode in my life.
Yeah, I agree. It was
Getting
just
my
unfun.
getting my 30 wins in the feast for the stupid Garo event was torturous. I hated
I
it.
can
It's-
imagine. I think I got one
like-
feast win, maybe.
Like Shatter's bad, Secure is bad. I hate them so much. I'd rather gouge my eyes out than fucking play the
100%,
feast ever
yeah.
again.
The
100%.
the feast was. Yeah, I liked it when they first introduced the Crystal Tower one, when it like could change randomly each match.
That one was
It
good,
had a
and
lot
then
of
it-
unique things, and then slowly they just dismantled it until it was just a gaudy looking arena that never changed and had nothing in it. That was the end product. And I'm like, I don't know why it failed. Close it. Like, what do you mean you don't understand? You made shit. You tried to make us play shit.
Like, the only good thing about the Feast was that it had a smaller, like, map and team size, which made a kill feel important. But getting a kill, do you remember trying to get a kill in the Feast? Like, the first time
The burst window they rolled, the burst macro.
Nightmare.
Yes.
Start attacking in 5. You had to burst them down. If you didn't kill them, it was like run around and wait till they get the burst.
Hit that burst with that fucking latency in 14.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh,
Feels great.
being a healer in early the Feast and just hiding behind the partition, just fucking shaking in fright, knowing that death is coming. Your teammates are dying. It's over.
Yeah. Feast was trash.
Yeah.
The best part of Feast was when they removed the chat so you couldn't even coordinate anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I think everyone who played the Feast to get like the armor and all that shit and the weapons, you're the strongest people known to man. I think you could like pull a semi truck if you really wanted to.
Right,
I couldn't fucking do that.
Yeah.
God.
Okay. Well, there you go. That is it. That is all. We are done with our 6.4, I guess, spoiler cast, even though it wasn't that much. Not that many spoilers in this episode, but there you go.
Yeah, it was all right, I guess.
Yeah, 6.4 is over. Here's for 6.45, which will be out in a month.
That's
plus
pretty good stuff.
When
2 months?
Like
it's
a
usually
month
like
and a half now. I think.
Yeah,
This
month
was
and a
the
half.
22nd. It's normally 2 months now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
a month
of the
and a
4-month
half
cycle.
from now, I guess.
Nope.
That's it for today. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Remember to follow on Twitter at SpeakersXV, twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIreland, YouTube.com/SpeakersXV, exclamation Discord and chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching on demand, links in the description. Send us MogMail, speakersxv.com/MogMail. And I think that's it. On Sunday, tomorrow, there is the Final Fantasy 16 pre-launch event, which will be covered, unfortunately, by this channel.
No, unfortunately, very good. Well,
for me,
done.
that's 1 a.m. So that is unfortunately
Monday morning, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Rather than night, just to confirm.
Are you joining us for that, Rollo?
Yeah, I mean, it's right after the stream. Might as well.
You can drop in if you want. It's a 6-hour event, isn't it? Like it's. I think I'm done.
5 hours.
5 hours. Yeah.
5 hours.
What are they gonna talk about?
It's like FanFest for 16.
Oh, they've got a schedule. I can bring it up for you afterwards, Rollo. You can have a look.
Yeah. You'll notice almost none of it's worth attending, I'm sure. But
how much is there to say?
I disagree with you on that.
You can get your Q&A, Rollo, about a single-player RPG that's coming out in a week's time anyway.
Yeah.
Will it have minions? No. Okay.
There will be story.
Yeah.
Will it have a storyline with characters?
Does it? I mean, it's in English, right? I do hope it's in English.
In Japanese.
Because if I have to sit and watch a live translation, then it's not happening.
Lakil, it's in well, I mean, it's going to be translated because like the developers is Japanese, Lakil.
Okay.
But like, I mean, they'll be having translators there. It is in LA.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Matt
All right,
can't translate shit. He's also left the company.
Okay. Well, anyways, there's also Sunday Fun Day tomorrow. That is, we're playing First Class Trouble,
we're playing...
I think.
Yes.
I think that's what we're playing.
But depending on, because we might have a lot of people able to play, we might play
I don't think that's the indication we're getting, that we're getting a lot
we'll
of
see,
people.
because that's 6 players max.
Yeah, 6 players max.
So we'll see who's left.
Yeah.
Available.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.